We are pleased to welcome back Mitch David to Talil. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, and we have you here for a number of reasons, partly because you are still relatively new to your position as executive director, but the Richmond County Literacy Network has been working hard on a number of different things. So we'd like to get kind of a catch-up statement from you in terms of what's happening in now and where we go from here, because I know you're working on some programs for the spring, but what can you tell us about what you and your Literacy Network colleagues have been doing in the present and what we're looking for in the future?
Richmond Literacy has been really busy. I've created a lot of partnerships with local business, government agencies, namely River Roots, Nova Scotia Works, NSCC, Department of Community Services, Talil for that matter. Becky and I collaborate on different things, so I'm here quite a bit. With the collaboration comes new programming. So besides the fact that we have two programs running through the Nova Scotia government, NASAL, I've put a couple of proposals out there and they're starting to come back. So things are going quite well. We're starting to get a little more popular and our name is getting out there. We're hiring, new instructors. Things are going really well. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Now, the last time you were here speaking to Becky, you brought up the idea that the Richmond County Literacy Network had been honored by the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce. You and Millie Hatt, one of the former directors, was there, and you folks were entered into the Club 25 for being 25 years in the making. Does the reputation of the Richmond County Literacy Network precede it sometimes, now that you folks have been a long-running organization?
I'm never going to try to do what Millie Hatt has done because she was a phenomenal star in our community for 24 years. She really brought a lot of programming. And if I might shout out to Millie, over 6,000 learners in 24 years, over $6 million in revenue. At one point, she had 45 employees. I mean, that's a great goal to look to, but we'll see. At this point, I mean, I have a lot of energy, so I'm going to attempt to reach those numbers, but we'll see. We're developing our new website, so all these things are making our numbers are doubling with the courses. Things are going well.
Well, that's terrific to hear about the numbers going up. And, talking about Millie Hatt, I think it's good to illustrate that you're obviously not working alone. You've got a board of directors, a new chair of the board of directors, Paula Kavanagh. We've had her in to speak to us as well. And you've got some great instructors and others that you folks are working with throughout Richmond County.
Absolutely.
So, can you talk a bit? Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that team effort and that team feeling right now?
We have 6 solid board members who have gone above and beyond the call of duty to make our CLN what it is today, really. I got hired in September. Our instructors are more than capable and well-liked and very respected in our community. Things are going really well. Very enthusiastic.
Good to see that energy and that enthusiasm amongst yourself and your team. That's terrific. Wanted to help clear up some confusion because the federal government recently announced that the GED testing program, which is to say General Educational Development, is being replaced this coming spring by a new program called the Canadian Adult Education Credential.
Yes, it is.
And I think it's helpful for our viewers to understand what exactly that means. And I think one of the biggest places to start there is to mention that the GED is produced in the US. It's not produced in
It is.
Canada. So is that basically the only change that people will see, that it's a made in Canada test right now? How does it work?
At some point, the Canadians decided to make their own, I guess, grassroots version of the GED, and it's the CAEC,
Yes.
and it's totally Canadian content. The NSCC is going to be helping out. There'll be the testing sites, and for that matter, if you need anything to go with your online AEC work, you can go to the NSCC and get that help. They will also proctor you, as I said. It's a testing site. Every single NSCC across the province will do this. So you can do your work online with the AEC. It's a similar content to the Americanized GED. And I just think it's a good thing. It may be more familiar to Canadians than what they think. So, yeah.
Yeah, so this will work out basically the same as it's done before, the idea that people can take their CAEC online, where they would have taken the GED before, and then they can just go to, locally, they'd go to Straight Area Campus and finish up with one test there. So it's a pretty straightforward process.
It is a very straightforward process, and I think at the end of the day, it'll be less stressful in a lot of ways. It's Canadian content.
Okay.
And it's being replaced. It's not the end of the ability to get your high school diploma. It's just another version of it, and it's probably a simpler version of it.
Okay, well, that could help out local people trying to finish
Absolutely.
it up. That's good. We've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
Mitch, as I thought we might, and I'm glad for that. Did you want to add anything else about all of this, or looking into the future, just before we wrap up here?
Well, I would like to talk a little bit about what's our courses.
Yeah, go ahead.
Besides the courses that I've already mentioned in the last interview with Becky, we have two courses that are sponsored by Department of Community Services. It's Schools Plus, ourselves, and DCS is funding it. But that's going to be driver's ed for ages 16 to 20, and we're doing the curriculum part. So anybody out there that needs driver's ed, 16 to 20, can contact us, or you can contact Annette at Beauport, Annette Keogh.
Yes.
And then the second program that just got approved actually today is the Employable Cooking Guru.
Now, what's that all about?
So again, we've included in our proposal River Roots. So River Roots will be renting their kitchen to us, and our instructor will be teaching folks from DCS to how to cook, how to manage their grocery bills, shopping wisely, you name it. And within that course, there'll be, first aid, food handlers, you name it. All the courses that you need, with the intention at the end of the day, it's not only education, it's employability. So it can possibly give you skills to work in a local cafeteria, restaurant, school, whatever.
Mitch David is the Executive Director of the Richmond County Literacy Network. We've been speaking to him right here at our Tallil studios in Arishat.